Okay, so there is somebody else who we're saying farewell to this evening. For those of you who've just been listening to his jokes for the last 20 minutes, you think probably thank the Lord. Billy departs from Army Football at the end of this month. He will be replaced by Graham. It's outstanding, Graham, to have you stepping up into the role. And replacing Graham will be Steve, and you won't be doing. You'll find somebody else to do the photography now. Well, it's good. Steve, who has magnificent socks, I've just noticed them. They're absolutely superb. But Graham stepping up is really superb, and I know that all at Aldershot Town, particularly Shahid and the gang, will be happy to see one of their number one fans stepping into the breach. And Shahid, my thanks to you to allowing us for Graham to work for us, because I know really he works for Aldershot Town. So Billy, I remember taking over as the manager for Army Crusaders First 11 back in about 2001. And I was told, well, you need to get yourself to the Army Sports Control Board to go and see Billy Thompson. I was like, oh. And you go in to see somebody who was Mr. Football, and Billy comes across as a lovely chap, but when he's telling you exactly what you are required to do as a manager of one of his teams, you pin your ears back, listen, and make sure you get it right. Then when I came onto the board and Mitch very kindly asked me to come and get involved in Army Football, I met Billy again, and you meet somebody who lives and breathes this game. And I know we all do who are here, and that's why we're here tonight. But if there's somebody who is Army Football, it is Billy. And I'm just going to go through a couple of things here. 20 years he has been, or 21 years rather, he has been the secretary for Army Football. He's been involved in football at all levels during that time, including coaching and managing the England C team on overseas tours, so right up to national level, absolutely in there. He's a pre-eminent member of the FA as one of the senior county secretaries, and you've only got to go to matches at Wembley and see the way that they interact with him to know that, or as I did and we did during COVID, put the bid forward for funding for Army Football for the next 3 years to see the way that the FA governing committee respects him, his knowledge and his commitment. It's truly superb. He's been a mentor, a leader, a friend, and I think no greater servant of the Soldiers' Game. Indeed, I think the reason we have the Soldiers' Game in the way it is now, across all the disciplines, from Crusaders to Reserves to Women's to Men's, and all the levels that it's played within there, has been down to how he has been the steward of the game during his time here. I did, though, when I came in as chair, we had this discussion about Army colours and the strip that they wear. I felt that lily white and blue would be a much better set of colours. Thank you, Jill. John, you're allowed to choose one, mate. And I thought that the red and white was set, but Mitch on the way in here grabbed me and said, "Oh no." So when Mitch took over his chair and was showing the new strip, he went, "The red looks different." I went, yeah. No, it's absolutely fine, it's absolutely fine. It turns out that the red that we have is deliberately chosen to be the Arsenal red, and Billy being an Arsenal fan is the reason we have it. So now I know that we can change the colours as much as we like. Stand by for next season. So we have a presentation for him, but I've got one final thing. As you know, Billy has already received the BEM for services to sport, but particularly for services to football. I wrote to the Chief of General Staff as he came into office. So there was a letter waiting on his desk inviting him to become the president of Army Football, which I'm very pleased to say he agreed to. So he sent a letter talking about how delighted he was, honoured to take up the post as president of the Army Football Association, and he's ready to receive dates of upcoming fixtures, etc. I particularly like the fact that he finished the letter with "P.S. Come on, you Spurs." And so, yeah, as a fellow Spurs fan, I was over the moon. However, the middle paragraph is the one that was of most significance, and this is what I was hoping that he would agree to, and he has. Major Billy Thompson's achievements and dedication are remarkable, and he's rightly been recognised with the British Empire Medal. It therefore gives me great pleasure to approve his position of Vice President for Life as my first act as President. one where you actually smile.
That was my best smile.
And I can't believe I'm about to do it to you, but I think I should give Billy right to reply.
Brigadier Sir, guests, I'm not going to take you too much of your time because I know you all want to go to the bar and have a little refreshment before we come back for the sweet course. It's been a great pleasure serving Army Football as the Secretary for the past 21 years. I've really, really enjoyed the post, and what I've really enjoyed most is the friendship that I've had through the volunteers that have been alongside me. As the Chairman alluded to, I was given the BEM. That was not an individual award, that was a team effort, and I'm grateful to the boys and girls to my right who have supported me during my 20 years in the office. I'm grateful to all the volunteers because without the volunteers, Army Football would not run. We rely heavily on the volunteers. I'm also extremely grateful to the sponsors. When I first got involved with Army Football in 1991 while I was still serving, a chap called Colonel Stan Gould invited me to become the Assistant Secretary of the youth, the Army youth team as it was then, because we did have 16-year-olds. And my responsibility, he said, was to look after the beer tokens and sort of make sure that the home team and visitors were given a drink. Well, I enjoyed that immensely. But I was only allowed to do it for one season. And then the chairman of Army, or the vice chairman of Army Football at that particular time in '92 was a chap called Brigadier Andy Massey, late SES, really, really charming man. And he was the commander of the RCT training group. I was late RCT. And he summoned me, and when the Brigadier summons you, particularly someone who's late SES, you make sure you're there. And he said, right, you've been with the Army Youth Team for a year. We now need an assistant secretary or assistant manager of the Army Senior Team. I said, yes, I'm your man, sir. And at that particular time, the general manager of the team was a friend of mine who sat here to my left. And my responsibility, as I know full well what volunteers do now, was picking the strip up and the socks at the end of the game. I'd just been commissioned from Regimental Sergeant Major when I was a lieutenant. And I understand exactly what the volunteer in the corps, in the regiments do when they're picking the strips up at the end of the game. But I had a great, whilst I was serving, a few years later, Colonel Tony retired, and I became the manager of the team. He's always moaning at me that I had all the great tours.
It's quite true, he got all the tours and I got none.
We were concerned about his health at the time. So I had some fantastic tours with the Army team and UK Armed Forces. And the other thing for me this evening that's very pleasing is that some of those youth players are here tonight. I don't want to give them away, but where's Joe Collins? These lads have come through, shall we say, not only the ranks of football, but the ranks of the military. And to see some of these youngsters now in their old age, it's heartwarming. Because without a shadow of a doubt, football is a family. And we should all be here to support each other. I've had an outstanding time. I've been talking for too long, but it's been a great pleasure. The BM was fantastic. To have the honour of being a life vice president for me is greater, because football has meant everything to me. I was never an outstanding player. The brain knew what it wanted to do, the body said, don't be bloody stupid. It's been great. And I thank everybody here this evening and all those I've known throughout my time as Secretary of Army Football. It's been absolutely outstanding. I briefly mentioned the sponsors. The sponsors put the icing on the cake of football. We could still play football, but the sponsors put the icing on the cake. And of course, I'm grateful to Shahid, Aldershot Town, because the relationship we've developed with Aldershot Town over the years has been absolutely fantastic. I go back to 2013 when we played the 125th anniversary of Army football, when we played at the Majeski Stadium. Unfortunately, you know, when you have the likes of Roy Hodgson comes along with an FA Select to play the Army team. Roy Hodgson was the manager, the coach of the England national team at that particular time. Stuart Pearce came along and he coached and managed the Army team, and he was the England under-23 manager at the time. When you have those personalities come along in support of you, that is something that is quite outstanding. We then developed a relationship with the Bundeswehr, the first game at Aldershot Town, the game of truce. We then went to Burton Albion, fantastic experience, and of course the highlight was then at Nottingham Forest, and obviously General Mitch, who was the chairman at the time, you know, for the boys and girls, the girls to play at Notts County, the boys to play at Nottingham Forest was absolutely fantastic. A lot of hard work and effort goes into it. And again, it's all down to the volunteers, because the board are volunteers. And I can't thank volunteers enough. I've said enough. Thank you very much indeed over the years for your friendship, your loyalty to football. I'm going to go and enjoy retirement now. My local football club, Bachelor Leah, saying, come and get involved. I've made it known to my friends that I want to take golf back up again. My garden is in the date with golf clubs that they've had in their bloody sheds and garages. They want to get rid of. So here you are, Billy, here's some golf clubs. But I'm going to enjoy my retirement. But once again, I've warbled on too much. Thank you very much indeed for your loyalty and your friendship. Thank you.